Oh, hello, and welcome to Anime Rigamortis. As part of Niche-vember, we're doing SuperNovember this week. I'm your host, Review Cultist, and with me are some special guests from the only improv comedy Dragon Ball podcast in the universe. Azathoth certified. Kame House Party.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm Vince.
Hello. I'm Aaron.
And we're guesting today, and we're very excited to talk about this this segment. But I'll leave the rest of the introing to you.
Yeah, thanks. So we're doing Anime Rigamortis. This isn't a regular al dente Rigamortis because last time I had Vincent and Aaron on the show, we may have let it slip that we were going to talk about My Hero Academia at some point. And I've now completely finished My Hero Academia, the anime, and I've been going on a huge trip of superhero and horror stuff for the last 2 months or month or so since I started doing that. So yeah, I've invited them back on the show to talk about My Hero Academia and superhero horror for creepypasta fodder and I guess games as well.
So first of all, are we spoiler wise? Are we keeping it spoiler free for those that have not seen it?
Yes. Thank you. Aaron's got to keep me in check because he knows I love to spoil shit.
I say we start right now. Yeah, if you have not seen My Hero Academia, you can turn off the podcast right now and go check it. go check it out by all means. As I say on our Creepypasta show, you can go to the Creepypasta website and check out the story if you'd like to check that out first, or you can get spoiled by our show. Okay. So
Vince, no manga spoilers.
I know. I have a volume of manga that I'm going to pull from because it gets very creepy. But I know
that's literally a spoiler. That's literally the thing I asked you not to do.
But I won't. It won't be plot spoilers. It's just informational stuff about the world.
There's just this new character.
But some of those characters are so good.
Oh my god. I mean, if it's anything like the anime, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for season 5.
How many? I feel like I might have been one of the people who recommended the show to you. You might have talked about it on Twitter. I'm sure you
100%. I'm pretty sure both of you guys recommended it to me. It's kind of been in my purview. I had heard of My Hero Academia before talking to you guys and talking on Twitter and stuff. And I was just happened to be in the right mood and setting for hero stuff, and then just started picking it up after I have you guys to thank for my Funimation subscription technically, because without that I wouldn't be able to experience the actual Dragon Ball Z and not the Dragon Ball Z that I remember from as a kid in Canada, because that was an eye opener.
It's real different. It was real different up there.
I didn't even
very
realize,
different up there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of episodes you guys cover in Kame House Party that I've never experienced at all. The Gohan's journey across training and stuff. And how apparently that was in Canada, we just got the highlights of that or something, as they edited in 3 episodes into one.
You didn't get him destroying the ecosystem.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. I was going to say, Gohan being a terrible force of nature in an otherwise untouched landscape.
Yeah, or there was no death, there was no blood. Everyone just got sent to the next dimension.
Mm-hmm.
It's even the planet, that giant bug planet, in when Vegeta's over the planet, it's oh man, Vegeta, we were actually heroes this time. It's yeah, it was really weird. Well, I'm gonna send them to the next dimension as a reward. Oh god.
So wait, how did they handle the Boo saga when Vegeta just blows up half of a stadium?
So, I know there's no blood involved. I don't know if there's blood, if they edited out blood or anything like that. But I'm wondering if, as time went on, the Canadian Broadcast Association just kind of like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like let's just keep saying that they just went to another dimension. They just sent that entire chunk of that arena to another dimension.
Fair.
Yeah, I am curious to see like if in the later seasons of Dragon Ball, if there is actually blood, and like, because I know that the Cell Saga was horrific as like watching like people just get drained. And then that was shown in Canada.
Oh god.
Like that one guy that like he like just like that one like businessman, he just like impales, and then he starts like draining, and you see his like fingers start like shriveling up and vanishing.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't wait, we're not talking about Dragon Ball.
Sorry, wrong anime.
So yeah, My Hero Academia. Yeah, there's a lot. Like basically, since episode 1, I was like, this has a lot of potential to be horrifying. Like, my first thing was just like, man, it must really suck to be that 20% of people that don't have superpowers or supernatural abilities or anything.
Right. Yeah.
And, yeah.
I think when Aaron, you told me to watch it, right?
When did I started watching it in early 2018?
Then yeah, you definitely told me that I would love it. And when I started, I was like, okay, well, we got a schoolboy. It's going to be one of these. And then to that point, when you have no powers in that world, oh my gosh, just like normal interactions with somebody might be horrifying.
Right? Like, episode 1, I was just like, all right, so Midori's rolling sand checks. And more sand checks, and Cthulhu, or like a Cthulhu monster just showed up. All right, more sand checks. Like, that's just his walk down the street.
Yeah, like it's insane. It's so good though. It's so good.
I will also say, because I've started because of you, Vince. I've been starting to watch Naruto again. Like, and I've gotten a little bit farther from where I stopped back in college. So I'm like a little bit past their those woods of death.
Oh right. The tuning exams.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like at the end of that. But
God.
that's where I'm at. But because I looked at it, I was like, oh, how many episodes? Like, I pumped through My Hero Academia in like less than a month, and it was only 80 episodes. How many is Naruto? It's like, 200. And Baruto, and then like Naruto Shippuden's like 400, or like maybe a little bit less than that. And then there's Baruto, and I was like, well, this is gonna take some time.
Look, I'll save you some time. Don't look at Boruto. Watch the Naruto, like the last Naruto movie, and then that's it. Just
call it quits.
Just call it quits. It's over.
Fair enough. But yeah,
he became mayor. Why?
Yeah, he succeeded. He's now Hokage.
He did it.
Yeah, he achieved his goal. He had for like what 600-700 episodes ago.
Yeah, and know it because he said it on every episode that he was going to become a Hokage.
God, I forgot about the believe it. Like when I started those first episodes, I was like, oh god, because I've been watching them intermittently between like Funimation and Netflix.
Yeah, the believe it stuff. Oh man, that's horrifying in and of itself.
Yeah. But the reason I was bringing up Naruto was because the school dynamic thing within My Hero Academia is so much different than the school dynamic in Naruto. Because like watching My Hero Academia through and like coming to really love the class of 1A, and like each character gets their own little spotlight in some sense, and then their attitude toward one another is so much different than like other school anime shows like Naruto, where everyone seems to hate each other or hate each other.
Yeah, like that hey, we're all middle schoolers, but the minute we get outside or go on a mission, we're all enemies somehow, even though we're all on the same team, achieving the same goals. Yeah, we're all rivals, and we're all going to become Hokage. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. So
like
like
a 2-man race.
Yeah. So yeah, the lightheartedness of
Naruto has a 2-party system.
Yeah. Oh, it's the ramen party and the burger party, of course.
Oh, God. So yeah, the lightheartedness of My Hero Academia definitely I think also helped contrast the kind of more horrific like undertailings that are throughout the series. Like the offhanded mention that they're actually living in a post-apocalyptic world. Like there was a dark age between like between the mundane world and when the advent of superpowers started happening.
Yeah, that would have been a wild time.
Yeah, like especially some of the flashbacks we get like they're like not even a few seconds, but we get like little flashbacks as someone is nonchalantly mentioned. Yeah, in history class, they said we would have been colonizing planets at this point if we hadn't gone through those dark ages. I was like, what? And then it just cuts to like scenes of like the dark times when like people were like prejudiced against like superpowered beings and such. I was just like, holy shit.
Oh man.
So it would have, timeline wise, that would have taken, I mean, more than a generation or two to get up to like 60%. So we're talking like maybe a century.
Yeah,
maybe 100 years.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Because if they predicted that they'd be colonizing planets, like we're about like 100 years or so away from that, I think.
Oh maybe. God, are they like 20? Are they in the 21s?
Oh God,
not the 2000s.
Well, because they're now at the same point where they were back when superpowers, like, cause like there was like either like a stagnant culture, like or like kind of cultural like stagnation, or they've just now finally reached the level they were before. Because you see that one flashback of like when the first child exhibits powers, and it looks very. I honestly thought it was just like, oh, maybe a couple of years in the past from like when Midoriya first starts talking. But no, it's been like a couple of generations. Like was my like because also like there had to be a bunch of generations because all for one goes over like how like 5 or 6. There's 5 or 6 holders of the.
That's true.
And like, is it? I don't think it's like Avatar where like it's like once somebody's born and then dies. Like I think it's like maybe born and then like is or like they're like. When they're in maturity or something like that, and then like they eventually like die from passing it on, right?
I mean, I think at minimum you're looking at about 20 years per One for All.
Yeah,
minimum.
But yeah, and then like some of the like the darker, like kind of real world darker stuff in My Hero Academia that's kind of mentioned, like the anachronistic breeding programs. Like I can't remember the icy hot guy.
Oh yeah,
Todoroki, that's his name. Yeah, and his and Endeavor's atrocities.
Yeah, and like God. You could just safely extrapolate that, like, oh, this is just we're only seeing Endeavor's point of view here, but you can assume that somewhere else in the world there are people doing the exact same horrific shit to their families and loved ones.
Oh, for sure, because like it's so they find out that it's hereditary, so it's like, shit.
Well, so being someone without a quirk, dating's got to be your pool's like probably limited, to that 20%. If someone has a power, it's like it becomes the new like 6 foot or more.
Oh right.
Oh God.
Yeah, if you're quirkless, swipe left, baby.
God, is it like quirkless? Is there an app called Quirkless or Bust?
I was thinking like quirkers only. I don't know. The only online dating site for non-quirk having individuals. I mean,
you don't have to be lonely at quirklessonly.com.
Oh my God.
See, this does fit into like the hyper capitalist sort of government run superhero business.
Yeah, we got some sketchy things going on in that society as well, with like government run organizations and also capital like corporate organizations like branding, which does come actually like that's not even like a thing like unique to My Hero Academia. Like there's like tons of comics and shows that like satirize that kind of like Marvel Disney branding. Like say what's that show, The Boys?
Oh yeah, The Boys is a very good example. I need to watch that. I really do.
I burned through the first season. I do like what they're doing with the second season, where it's once a week. have something to look for, something nice to look forward to.
Yeah.
It's very good. Very different from plot-wise, it takes a big old turn from the comics.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
that
is nice.
seems to be the thing that they do with like adaptations from written media.
But yeah, there's but I mean, I guess what would be the real world equivalent of a superhero? What do they call it? Agency? You're representing. I mean, it's similar to a talent agency, but not.
Well, I was gonna say the closest thing we probably have is like high powered sport, like athlete representation.
Yeah.
Like I know someone who was a very it's LeBron's agent for a little while, and hearing stories about what that world is like, I assume is similar to how the boys treat their superheroes, like at a corporate level, and then how I'm assuming like we see a little bit of the agency structure in My Hero Academia throughout the seasons, and like sponsorships, brand deals, money changing hands. It's like it starts to feel a little gross, but
in My Hero Academia, it does feel a little bit like some of the branding like agencies. They're like they are like they're from like self-made heroes too.
Yeah,
like they're run by like the big honcho ones. And then it's almost like an internship, which gets into some economic horror.
Right. It's like not everybody has access to an internship, Midoriya. So,
holy shit! That sounds like All Might. That sounds exactly what All Might said.
Yeah, no, he does.
Yeah,
just like, hey, look, Midoriya, I don't know. Like maybe why don't you talk to this old person? Maybe they'll get you something. I don't know. It's like
it's like going to college and then like, well, you're gonna have to get an internship or like a co-op right now if you want to like get those extra experience points for school. It's like,
Or what happens to Momo when she goes on her internship? The hero that she's working with, basically, like you said, has her own advertising empire, and through like one video that Momo and the other the girl from 2A is also in, like they become kind of famous overnight because of that, and like agencies start looking at them more. It's very like they do a good job of putting that stuff just underneath the story, like the overall story that you're following. So if you think about it for too long, you're like, oh wait, no, they're kids.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're 14-year-olds. Or wait, they're 14, right?
They're I think 15 to 16 is the age. I mean, still children.
Not great.
Still children.
Yeah, not as weird as like Naruto being like what they're 12-year-olds or 13-year-olds in Naruto, and then they're like forced to kill each other or like go into battle royales.
Yeah.
But still not great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real life example. I remember hearing talk of when Billie Eilish just won all those Grammys and hating it, like absolutely hating how many Grammys she's won, because it's like, I'm 17.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to handle all this like fame on top of like, now everyone hates me because I won like other artists who've been working way harder and longer than I have.
And then you just showed up.
Yeah. So it's like in the pressure of that. Like, this sucks. Why would you do this to me?
Like LeBron James's kid, Bronny. Like, I thought it was really weird that people were talking about LeBron's kid when he was like not even in middle school, like pee-wee basketball. Video of like LeBron's kid playing basketball, and they're like, he's already, look at him, already looking like LeBron. This is gonna be crazy. People are gonna sign this kid right out of middle school.
Oh God,
because that's a great standard to leave.
Well, that's the I don't know if you've ever seen like, especially current highlight reels that like high school students put out of themselves. Like they have to like think about production value.
Oh yeah. My the tape that got sent around of my athletic accomplishments in high school was not put to music, and very poorly edited, and it was sent around to the schools on a big CDR.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought you were going to say it was the Benny Hill music.
Yeah.
And it was sped up. And it's your greatest fumbles.
No, that was my blooper reel.
Yeah.
And
All
it's
the clown
yakety
colleges got
sax.
that one.
And it's on YouTube.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, a lot of dark themes that you can pull from the subtle from the underlinings of this plucky superhero series.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
And that's
it's exploitation
yeah.
underneath, and an exploitation of the young. It's again, if 80%, is it 60 or 80?
It's 80%
It's
of
80,
the
yeah.
population has quirks.
If 80% of the population of the world has a quirk, why do we care anymore?
Exactly.
Why is that? Yeah, why does that keep getting brought up? Like, why is that important? Like, unless there's something really weird, like, or dark about that.
I mean, at the same, like, again, majority,
Yeah.
rule, where it's like we all have quirks. That's what we're into, and it's the pushing. I guess the majority push for the agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I do love that we're talking about My Hero for this long and haven't talked about a single individual quirk yet. We're talking mostly about some of the underlying horrors of the societal structure in this
Yeah.
world.
Or villain. We have not talked anything. We haven't even
Not a
touched the
single-
villains. These are all heroes and the society as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to go into the quirks then?
Yeah.
Or some outlying ones that are of note, like one that comes to mind particularly is I can't remember his name, but he turns everything into marbles.
Mr. Compress.
Yeah, Mr.
Yes,
Compress. Yeah,
Mr. Compress.
like
Ooh.
and how like it's not just he can do not just like whole bodies, but he can just take parts of people and compress them into marbles. And they're it's like a capsule like a capsule tech situation where like they're still in okay in there apparently, or at least for a certain amount of time, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how Bakugo described it when he was compressed. I don't think they did. I don't think anyone's like, it was horrible. I saw the face of God, who had a lot of them, had a lot of faces.
Yeah,
But I remember, I think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Mr. Compress saying, like, well, he's only got so much time in here, like at one point, about anybody that he trapped in there. So there may be like a timing element to it.
There's only so much compressed air around the body that
Exactly.
It's like, oh,
that's the level of detail that we do get from some of the quirks. Like, it's not just, oh, he can compress things. It's like he understands that he can compress the air around someone, just a body part, or just their being, maybe without air if he's good enough, but that's all determined by the wielder of the quirk.
yeah. It's so it's like it's loosey goosey and fun until they decide to rank up the darkness, where you got like people like Coda, who could speak to animals and is like basically like a freaking Disney princess in terms of like his animal empathy powers. Then you have like Bakugo, who's like sweat is like liquid is nitroglycerin on his hands. Or Shigaraki, who can just dust somebody, just disintegrate a person by touching all 5 fingers to them.
Or one of my favorites, Twice.
God, Twice, the existential threat
into multiples of himself, but
or
as
anyone.
A character, or anyone.
Yeah, anyone.
Like he can make mud copies of them or something like that, or clay copies or something.
Yeah, like they just
by
melt
just
away.
Taking their measurements or like looking at them for long enough.
Yeah.
Or like, and then story is terrifying and awful and very concerning.
Like it's like a personal existential threat to himself, because he's not sure if he's the original, because his power translates to other versions. Like all his copies are capable of the same power, which is ridiculous. It's like frig. Yeah, or like, oh God, there's so many like to choose from. The black hole, the living black hole.
Yes,
Mhm.
the hero.
13?
Yeah, the hero who's in a like a spacesuit like containment unit, who's basically an SCP entity, just like working for the SCP Foundation essentially.
Oh, it's wild.
There's again, much like X-Men, and I saw some comic recently where it's like Professor X, Jean Grey, st- um, all the handsome X-Men. It's like, woe is us, we're mutants, we'll never be accepted by society. And then the last panel was like Beak, Beast,
Mhm.
Chamber, whose face is just a fire, a psychic fire. There's a character who's like just a gelatinous cube with a skeleton.
It's just like, bitch, please.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
seriously?
It's like, yeah. So I think about like how the being like I think they call it a mutation technically, where they have like the animal people,
Yeah.
Right.
the Tokoyami, a Suyu.
Who's the lizard that's like the stain stan?
I gotta Google like the
Slice Man. He just has swords.
Yeah, I think he might just call himself
He's
Slice.
like a ninja turtle, basically.
Yeah.
He's got the bandana over his head and everything.
I'm a mutant. I'm a reptile. I've studied some ninjutsu, and I just turned 17.
I am. What is it? Legally not or trademarked.
Legally distinct.
Legally distinct reptile who does ninjutsu.
I have hair. The turtles don't have hair.
This is true. He does have pink hair, which is badass.
Horrifying fact about Tokoyami. One of my favorite characters, just because he's a fun goth boy. It's not feathers that's covering him. His bird head. That's hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
I remember when you told me that. That was very shocking.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah. He's a bird covered in hair.
That in itself is horrifying. It's like
with teeth.
Oh my God, you're right. It's like a platypus. So he's a platypus kind of thing. Like, because they got hair, they got fur, and they've got teeth in those bills. Oh my God! It just
we've uncovered something about Tokoyami.
Yeah, and because like there's 3 types of quirks, right? Like, trying to remember what it was. It's like mutation, projection, and manifestation, or something.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it is. I say as I'm furiously Googling My Hero Academia.
One that we haven't talked about that is really gross and also a byproduct of Endeavor's freakish and God. Like, oh man. Just like the fact that I love that his quirk, like his whole thing is that he's trying to become the number one hero. He realized he can't. So he's trying to make his kids do it. But he has there's only a certain level of heat resistance that that his body has, and so that's why he's going after
fire.
Yeah, that's why he's going for ice and fire. And another character that wields fire is Dobby. But Dobby's flames are so intense that his body can't resist it, and so his look is really cool, but also really gross because it's his flesh burning.
This feels like a spoiler, Vince, for the manga. I don't think they explained it.
It's never explained. I mean, I assume
really?
that's what's going on
early on.
No, Dobby never.
Look at. Yeah, I see you. You have an innocent face. You got your finger up to your lips, and you're giving me the "who me" look.
Oh. The manga's just like kind of behind your back.
You're glancing at it.
No.
I do actually. You did kind of touch on something I wanted to also bring up with My Hero Academia and creepypasta stuff is how similar some of the characters look. And I don't think this is intentional. I think this is just a byproduct of the internet age and like the just like creepy things are creepy for reasons. But like Shigaraki, Dobby, Stain, and the guy with the metal teeth that like go everywhere. Like is that what his name was? Tetsu. The like death row convict.
I know. Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Tetsu's a student. He's a metal hard boy, so he does have metal teeth.
I can't remember what that guy's name is. But anyways, like, those 3, Shigaraki, Dobby, and Stain. They all really like. I remember when Stain came to the scene, I was like, Jeff the Killer, like very prominent creepypasta icon, like the serial serial superhero killer. And Jeff the Killer like has it's almost like if you were to put some fan art of Jeff the Killer and then like put it next to Stain, the appearance is very similar, and even some of his like his murderous intent and attitude is very similar to like the attitude that is portrayed with like Jeff the Killer and such. And again, I don't think that's anything like intentional, but it is something that like it's out there in the internet pop culture mythos. So
Jeff the Killer's Jeff the Killer's just he's just Jokerized a little bit, right? Like he cut his eye, if I'm remembering correctly, like he doesn't have any eyelids.
Yeah, he either cut, depending on which version, he either cut or burned off his eyelids. He gave himself a Glasgow scar because of the burn marks that came from Javex and vodka burning his face, and then singeing his hair from brown to black, which that's not how that works, but that's creepypastas sometimes.
His name is Jeff.
Yeah.
Did anyone discuss this?
I'm currently looking up Jeff the Killer. And
you might also find some Two-Face versions because there's been a couple of reiterations of the story that people have done in recent years. So,
I found a sexy version.
Yeah, of course. That's and actually this ties into Stain as well. Much like Stain, Jeff the Killer has a fan base, like has a fan like following of like people who draw fan art and fan fiction of this killer this homicidal teen killer. Because he looks kind of pretty to a bunch of edgelordy teens. And this is like and like I've noticed it like especially on like Twitter and stuff, like when like there's a handful of creepypasta icons that have like a fan following similar kind of to Jeff, or similar to Stain and Shigaraki and such. Just like teens like bad boys, or like edgy bad boys, I guess.
Yeah, which is again part of the thing that I think grounds My Hero Academia in a really interesting way, because in what I would assume, like in other superhero fiction, the general population is just like, no, heroes are good and villains are bad, and you don't you dare like a villain, or like nobody really is outwardly expressing like, oh, this villain is cool. But in My Hero Academia, people are like, I don't know, Stain seems pretty cool. Like he's a cool guy.
It's definitely, again, from my very limited understanding of Japanese culture, it would to where we would, oh God, we'd love villains here in the States. Mm-hmm. Like Depression era, like not Dillinger kind of, folk heroes. We love a villain here. Yeah. But over there, it's it seems like it's much more homogenous. So it would be like, a villain. Well, one, they always lose. So why like them? And I think that's what Stain, even though he lost, he got his message out there. And people were like, yeah, I'm tired of being the same.
Yeah. And that's why, again, like that's why he had his following, whereas like all those the now new main villains in the what is it called, the villain, or like the League of Villains,
the League of Villains, yeah,
straight up the League of Villains. Mm-hmm. They like why we got like the vampire vampire shapeshifting girl, and I think like a handful of them too, like even like Twice was there as well, right? Mm-hmm. As a result of Stain's influence.
I think everyone in the League of Villains except like Shigaraki and Teleport Bartender were there because of Stain.
Yeah, Shigaraki's like uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then even like Shigaraki, like my favorite scene in My Hero Academia is the mall scene, where is the mall hostage scene, where where Shigaraki good. Like that was the one that solidifies like, man, Shigaraki's kind of really cool. Like he's don't get me wrong, he's a villain and he's despicable, but in this one scene he went from being like this like spoiled brat kind of character to like actually a kind of decent villain.
Right.
where he like took Midoriya hostage and then told him that he would also like he effectively took the rest of the mall hostage.
Mm-hmm.
If Midoriya did anything.
Yeah. Gosh, I do like when Shigaraki does, because like you said, they set him up as like he's spoiled brat chosen by the big bad guy, blah blah blah. Who's gonna follow this kid? And then when he does show his like real cunning instincts, I'm just like, oh, this dude is gonna be a problem.
Yeah. And then even like there's some portrayals of like even some of the heroes that like are like kind of creepy. Like again, going back to like the first episodes when All Might shows up. Even like big beefy like All Might with those dark like shadowed eyes, and you can only see you only occasionally see his like pupils in the darkness. Like I don't know why, but for some reason that always unnerves me whenever he like gets really intense and it's just his blue eyes just like piercing through the darkness. And I think it's like I think it's the third opening of the series when it shows like the climactic battle between him and One for All, and his like eyes just start glowing through that. It's just like I know All Might's a good guy, but damn, is he scary?
Yeah, they made him very angular in his design. And like you said, like in the big form, he doesn't have eyes.
They're just shadow. Yeah, they're just cast in shadow all the time, like a villain would be almost. But he's a hero.
Yeah, he has such a muscular brow that it covers up his eyes.
And then when he goes to his weak form, he almost looks like a skeleton. So they're just like the sockets in there.
Yeah.
And then coughing up blood for gags because he's got this grievous, horrible wound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot to like digest in My Hero Academia.
We haven't talked about Midoriya himself yet,
right? Yeah,
because he does inherit. Would this be too spoiler? He inherits a quirk. Just say that.
I said at the beginning. Like I said at the beginning, there
only
are spoilers.
what's happened in the anime.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I get you're overcorrecting now.
I'm trying. That's what. Okay, I'll find my middle ground by the end of the show. But early on, when Midoriya is using his quirk for the first few times, and how horrifying that experience is, just whenever he wants to punch something or jump, he breaks his bones.
Oh God. Yeah, and then like just. It continues on. Like he's got like physical scars as a result of that, and he can only use a small percentage of his power because his body will just rip apart as a result of it.
God, it does take like 2 seasons for him to kind of get used to things.
Yeah.
Because in the sports festival, it's like
he should not have been in that sports festival.
How do I not die today?
Yeah.
What's the strat? What's the strat?
Okay, I'm just gonna break.
Ended up being, all my fingers. I don't need those right now.
Yeah, I'll just have the nurse like Shogothianly kiss me to like make me feel better. Like
she's got the stretchy old lady lips.
The stretchy old lady lips, just to make me feel better. God. Oh, you can't do that more than a few times before my body starts rejecting the healing factor. Ah, shit.
Yeah. Because even at the sports festival, everybody's like looking on as Midoriya is fighting with Todoroki, and they're just like, people start to cringe, and it's so visceral, and like because he's gutturally screaming every time, and there's blood coming out of his fingers.
Oh God. Yeah, because he's just like breaking breaking bones, and like the muscle is just like blackening as a result of it. Just
You could, you could probably do a Hulk sort of thunderclap with your wrist.
Oh God! Oh God!
Gosh!
I'm just picturing that. Is like just the slap and just like hearing the sickening crunch, and then like his hands are just like flopping.
Yeah, like the bones just disintegrating. They're just like in the hands, and then just there be nothing there after.
The flesh is just bloodied and bruised, like it shows whenever he like overexerts an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh, it's just Deadpool all over again when he like punches Colossus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I can still flick my tongue. I'm still in this.
Oh
How can I
God.
call myself a hero if I can't even flick my tongue?
I'll flick my teeth out as little bullets,
no.
one by one.
Oh God.
Oh God, the tooth guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The tooth.
I
Yeah,
just got long tooth.
the metal tooth guy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's who
Is his
you
name
got.
Longtooth?
Yes. I don't.
Metal tooth guy.
He's not a dinosaur from the Land Before Time.
Blade Tooth. I think his name is Blade Tooth. Yeah,
What?
the Cenobite inspired supervillain. Holy shit! Like if you look at his outfit, which I think is just like
Oh yeah,
a black like a straight jacket.
yeah. He's an S&M gear for
Oh
sure.
God!
Oh right,
Yeah.
this guy. I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that.
Who's just basically inspired by the Chatterer Cenobite from Hellraiser. Oh,
Or the
God.
other. As I'm scrolling down, I'm witnessing one of the other quirks from one of the rival schools from UA. Who anything he touches turns into basically a little meat wad.
Oh yeah,
Oh
he just turns you into a Shoggoth for a little bit. Just a
yeah,
little, sorry.
Oh, just from the probationary exam,
Mm-hmm.
for the probationary license.
Yeah, he just turns you into you have no bones. You're just like a meat, like a what is it? A Cronenberg monster. Just like
yeah.
And when Bakugo and Denki and Kirishima like roll up on him, and there's just a street littered with like chicken nuggets of people. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good time. You're rolling like somebody definitely would have rolled sand at that point.
Mm-hmm.
At the revelation of what's going on there.
Yeah, there are winners and losers in the quirk genetic lottery, for sure.
And then there's what's the guy who like you speak to him and he can just like psychically manipulate you into and puppeting you.
Oh, Shinso, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Purple hair.
Yeah.
Looks tired all the time.
Yep. And how like did he like make people forget about him or something? Or like people just like don't talk to him because of his quirk?
I believe that was part of his quirk, is that once it was done, you don't remember really doing the thing that you were doing.
Right.
But he could only correct you if you answered a question from him.
That's what it was.
You
Yeah,
had to respond to him like directly.
Yeah. Oh God.
God, he would just if you just say loser says what all the time.
What? Oh.
Dang it.
Damn it.
Why are all the chores done and I'm tired?
I lost 5 pounds. It's Tuesday.
It's like a very like it's what Slenderman did in his high school years. Oh God.
Yeah, any mind control quirk is always, to me, that's always the like, ooh, no,
yeah, that's
thank
the
you.
creepy thing. Yeah, because it takes away agency, and that's definitely a creepy issue.
I mean, we haven't talked about Mineta yet, but he's terrifying because of reasons beyond his little quirk. He's a gross pervert.
He's definitely his attitude.
Go to horny jail.
Yeah.
Maybe real jail. Definitely horny jail.
Yeah.
But but with his quirk, his hair is sticky balls, and whatever touches to them sticks. How long though? Because I think he's gagged people with it before.
Has he?
Yeah, he uses them as jokes.
I know that he makes people stick to like stay in place and stuff. I don't remember when he gagged somebody. Oh God.
Maybe I might be, because it's like, hey, it sticks to anything except me. I'm like, oh yeah, but for how long? When does it not stick?
Like, yeah, because I know, yeah, it doesn't stick to him. Oh my God.
You could straight up suffocate someone.
Mm-hmm.
Some like that's like that movie. There's a horror movie called Jawbreaker, I think, where
yes.
they used a jawbreaker. Like okay, a bunch of mean girls kidnapped another girl and used a jawbreaker to gag her. And when they put her in the back of the car, like she's duct taped and all that stuff, and they put her in the back of the car and they go to like put her out. This was like all a gag, but when they go to check on her, she's choked on the jawbreaker that's down her throat. It's like horrifying. And then like the movie, I think, just deals with like them accidentally murdering their friend.
Denise Richards, Rose McGowan, cameo by Marilyn Manson.
Nice.
I know. I've seen this movie. I was a teenager when it came out, and it starred those people. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a dynamite cast.
Yeah, so being a real Minetta here.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, and then you just have like the creepy, like skeevy part of the creepypasta, or like just real world horror stuff with like Minetta going too far, and oof. I feel like the one that's like not nightmare fuel out of that class, or couldn't be like really totally nightmare fueled out of that class, is damn it, I had the name. I forgot it.
We'll just go down we can just go down the list.
Yeah, let's go on the list.
There's Aoyami.
So
the belly boy.
Yeah. The belly boy?
The naval laser.
He shoots.
That's who it is. Yeah, belly laser. Yeah. God.
If he uses his quirk too much, he basically gets the runs.
Yeah.
Yep.
His tum-tum hurt.
And he can't stop twinkling.
Never stop. Mina, who shoots acid at you.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The alien queen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Sue. Sue's the only one that's like, yeah, she's a frog. She's a frog girl. But she's not like, I mean, that's kind of terrifying, but it's like, I don't know, like she's like, I mean, I guess it is basically like one step away from being a deep one.
What is it? I think she was 4 on on one of the like popularity polls that they always do on Shonen Jump.
Oh,
everyone loves Sue.
Yeah.
But it stands to reason.
All right, wait, who else?
Call me Sue.
Tenny's got jets in his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he can just like outrun you.
Let's just like thick calves with pipes in them.
Yeah, yeah. How does that work? Wait, it's like it's like do you guys?
That's how you go fast.
It runs in his family.
Yeah, so they're biomechanical like infrastructure inside their physiology. Like
Tenny of the Iron Man.
I was thinking that, or have you guys ever heard of Metalosis? It's a short film on YouTube where like people's like it's a fictional condition where like people's like like the braces and stuff that people put on like in their bones and stuff to like from like wounds and such.
Mm-hmm.
Those pieces start like organically growing and start expanding out, and so like people start like having these like metal protrusions coming out of them, and like the one guy is like so severely mutated by his condition that like when he tries to talk, it's just like a chattering of white noise. It's kind of like if you took the exhaust, like the little carburetor, the car parts that are clearly in I can't remember his name. What is it? Ida.
Yeah.
And merged it with maybe with like Blade Tooth a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Like where it mutate the metal parts kind of like mutated out of control.
No.
So,
oh no.
Now I'm just thinking,
or Ida is the first wave of cars from
so
the car apocalypse.
Lightning McQueen is related to Ida.
He's just saying "ka-chow" under his breath.
I am Ingenium ka-chow.
Oh god, because that's a lost episode creepypasta kind of conspiracy theory thing of that the cars are just a post-apocalyptic world where the cars gained sentience and took over.
There, I mean,
Like, no, it's just Ida and his family. Just like that quirk just went on further.
That quirk was dominant in the Punnett Square. That's how we got cars.
Yeah.
again, if we're talking about it genetically, you give it a couple thousand years.
Yeah.
And with so many, there's so much divergence physically
Mhm.
Yeah.
among certain people. Ooh, yeah, it could.
Could you
they're all
imagine
cars.
yeah, they're all cars. Or could you for a story or like game scenario kind of thing, it would be like, what happens if like a time traveler comes back from the future, like from like 1,000 years in the future, and it's like they're like this monstrosity like to everybody else, but it's like, no, this is how everyone looks in the future. Like, this is how quirk evolution happened. It's like, oh god. And I love how we haven't even like touched on some of the later stuff, like the anti-quirk serum and how that was created from by the Yakuza guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and the fact that it's an organized crime syndicate that wants to get back to the good old days, pretty much.
Yeah, because they were just completely wiped out by superhero society. Oh god.
Yeah, I am surprised that in superhero fiction, there's not more pharmaceutical harvesting of soups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I feel like that might have happened in the Dark Age of My Hero Academia, because like, oh, you've got cellular regeneration. Well, can you just step in here? This is the Mengele Memorial Hospital.
There's a side character in the second season of The Boys. That's their job. It's like, I can regenerate anything, and so that's what they do to me. I'm literally a lab rat.
Oh
God.
For pharmaceuticals.
I feel like so. Aaron, you're familiar with role playing public radio, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vince, I'm not sure how much you know of like the RPPR podcast.
I don't know it, but I've heard it referenced.
Okay. They did a superhero campaign called New Heroes, or the Heroes of New Arcadia, and where Ross, the GM, kind of him and Caleb Stokes kind of go into some of the darker stuff of like superhero society. Like there's one scenario I think that Caleb ran where they go down into a super prison in the bowels of the ocean, and it's been left abandoned for like a few months, and there or maybe even like a few years, and people inside there ran out of food real quick, but there was a duplicator, like a guy who could duplicate himself, who was before he was in the prison, he was a jihadist because he'd just duplicate himself and then have that guy go out. And the prison had kind of devolved into a Lord of the Flies sort of society, and so when they ran out of normal supplies and rations, they just started using him over and over and over, like for their clothing, for the shelters, for their food. And it was a horrifying, like, it was like, if you want superhero horror, that's a good episode, that's a good scenario to look at.
Because it's like, lie. That sounds awful.
Like, and that's just one thing that happened in that scenario. There are other things that, like, horrifying things that happened in that super prison that was abandoned down at the bottom of the ocean.
I do like the trope of Supermax superhero prisons being miles deep under the sea, or like in the Marvel universe, they just put it right next to New York. Like, in Marvel, they're just like, no, we'll put everybody right here, right next to the most populated city in America. Instead of, like, I think they don't show you in My Hero, but they give you like one glimpse of the Supermax prison that All for One is in, and it's just like
Tartarus.
Yeah,
it's like Alcatraz kind of thing. It's like a rock on the off the coast, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, we don't get a location because it's somewhere in Japan, I assume.
Mhm.
I also do like how like this is just Japan that the series focuses on, and like they reference other places like America and such, but like this is all the weird shit that's going on in Japan. What happens in the other places?
I mean, that's a good point. I think if we're talking, have you seen all the movies?
Yes, yeah.
So in the first one is Two Heroes, and or did I get them mixed up?
No, Two Heroes, because
No, that's
Heroes
correct.
Rising is the next one.
They talk about how I think they reference it like, oh yeah, in America there's like a lot more crime going on. Like they don't have the same, like they're not as safe here as we are here. And like All Might does an internship over there, kind of to help like make other heroes in America feel like they can stand up to the villains and stuff. And I was like, oh, America, oh, we should. Can we just like, can we have All Might for like 6 months and then give him back or something?
We could just stay here forever.
Mm-hmm.
And be everyone's dad.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and it is kind of like another existential threat that is posed throughout the series is they rely their society relied so heavily on All Might to the point where as soon as he gets retired, like they are just in full blown panic mode because their Superman is no longer there.
Right.
And like he was basically like the watchful eye of the world. Like didn't like crime basically like was completely like slacked down to like nothing, and then it's like suddenly on the rise. Like really bad crimes have suddenly started spiking again.
Yeah. Because it was just like, well, villains assumed that if they did a crime, All Might was going to show up and murk them.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I did notice something that I'm planning on actually pulling for one of my own like superhero kind of game ideas. I've noticed that like when no matter how badly they beat down a supervillain, they don't die unless it's like unless they're like thematically appropriate to. Like the one I'm trying to think of like actually from Two Heroes. Like in that flashback of in what is it, like not Las Vegas, like Casino Town or Casino City.
Yeah, Casino Zone.
Yeah, Casino Zone. Yeah, when he just like does the California punch and like smashes that monster and the Joker-esque character down into the ground, and like there's a giant impact crater, and they're just like they're still alive, right. and then like seconds later they're being handcuffed and walked away. And there's a similar scene in Heroes Rising. I don't know if I should spoil too much. Are you guys okay with it or no?
Yeah, it came out last year. Right?
Yeah.
Or this year. I don't know anymore.
Actually, as of this episode,
it did come out this year.
Yeah, I think it'll be actually coming out to DVD and Blu-ray in November, and this episode should be getting posted the first week of November.
All right. Well, we'll sit back and wait for our checks then.
You should have watched it in theaters, is what I'll say.
Exactly.
Like everyone else.
Yes. And Bakugo, like one of the villains, is like puppeting everybody with like his bandages, and then Bakugo breaks out of it and just like goes full hog, like die, and like it is literally Nappa's death. Like, but then like 2 seconds later, we have the Mummy Man in the basement tied up, and he's just like fine. Like they've got security cameras that like laser guns, like all like kind of, or like guns with laser targets all over him, as like, don't worry, he's not going anywhere. And then he's walking away with the rest of the villains at the end of the show. It's like he was disintegrated by the napalm blasts.
But they'll have like one of the other characters, like Kirishima, be like, "Wow, Bakugo, you really are trained to not destroy so much stuff. You kept the damage to a minimum, and the villains survived."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just like, yeah, it's what. But like a second ago, it was showing like that scene where like when like somebody's getting blasted by a big huge beam of energy and they just like disintegrate, right?
Yeah.
And then he's just toasty on the ground and unconscious. But that doesn't always happen in the show, and like they always talk about like the casualty rate and stuff as well. So it's like, do superhero getting a quirk, like I wonder if like by getting a quirk you get some kind of like extra endurance to survive quirks.
That's always been my beef with. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Oh yeah, so my idea for like a game would have been like, all right, so you guys like start off season 1 of this campaign thing would be like, all right, you guys are the first wave of empowered people, and so you guys can select like a superpower, like one superpower you guys can get, and then you're also like it's pretty hard to kill you, like you get like kind of a pass on that kind of thing. And then season 2, all right, so a few decades have passed, you're now Cthulhu characters, like Cthulhu player characters. And you have no powers, and you are in the minority of this society. So, and you can be hurt, you can be killed a lot easier. So you're like just pose that like, yeah, no, being quirkless is like you're rolling sand checks, and you're a lot more squishy than everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's I also like the idea of a generational game. Where it's like, hey, you're like you said, the beginning heroes. Here's a power. It's not too bad. It's not too severe. And the next game, like, well, 20 years has passed. You're the new hero. Here's this. And then, by game 5 or 6, it's like, you have all this, but you're also dealing with this. And here's what society has done since then. No one likes you because you're too powerful.
God, yeah.
Or they
like
revere
Chimera
you
from
like
the movie.
a god. Yeah.
God, Chimera, Jesus. Like
the level of this destructive force that Chimera can put out and also take was insane in that movie.
Yeah. I thought it was like so again, I guess spoiler for that movie, but when Todoroki does the finishing freeze, I was like, so Chimera's dead, right? But then no, he's walking away at the end with cuffs.
Somehow
like,
going like I'm assuming below absolute zero down his throat.
Yeah, crystal ice crystals forming through his system, all the way blooming out of his mouth outward and all around him. No, he's fine. He walked it off.
Well, there's again, I'm not a physicist, but just the heat transfer, the energy transfer, when that much ice is created that quickly, how it's just, it's just sucking up all the heat from the surroundings.
Yeah.
That's got something, it's got to mess with you.
Yeah, like he's internally, he's walking, what we don't know is while he's walking away, he's internally bleeding. Like he's not going to last much longer.
All my cell walls are being destroyed.
Yeah.
It always threw me off in superhero fiction where say you have a character like Cyclops who's like, what's your power? I shoot laser beams out of my eyes. But he can survive a lot. But I'm like, but that's not his power. He's technically just physically, as far as like how much punishment he can take, he's a regular dude.
Yeah.
So like Cyclops, I could stop you with a bullet.
Yeah.
I just got to make sure I don't get lasered. That's it.
Yeah, lasers from the punch dimension, because they're not heat lasers in the comics, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're like that in the movie cinematic universes or whatever, but like in the comics, it sounds like it's like they just like wham you, and it's like a physical force that hits you.
I believe a concussive blast is what's on the back of his card.
Yeah,
but Aaron, that's a really good point. I think I like the way that Marvel does it is kind of. And like I think about Spider-Man, he has the durability and all the proportional abilities of a spider. So I guess if a spider was 6'2", it'd be really hard to kill a 6'2" spider. But like you said, if you could yell real loud like Canary or something, that you shouldn't be able to take a punch from Spider-Man. It shouldn't work.
No, how does anyone fight the Juggernaut? You're all dead.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Wolverine,
or the Hulk.
Wolverine Colossus, this is like we will die instantly. He'll look at it. He'll flick his finger and we're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll flick his finger and shoot an air bullet at us and kill us.
He's gonna flick his teeth at us. We gotta watch out.
Oh yeah, it's just God, there's just so much horrifying about quirks. Yeah, it's like
I mean, I think of like Toru, the Invisible Girl.
Yeah.
And then I just think of Hollow Man.
Yeah.
The Kevin Bacon joint.
Yeah, I remember okay, so does she have a super suit, or is it just her gloves and shoes?
She's super naked.
She's naked.
Fucking
yeah,
God.
She's real naked.
like I thought it might have been like how what is it from Incredibles, Invisigirl or whatever? They have like a special outfit, or like how what is his name, Demillion, where his suit is now like specially designed so that it'll go with him, so he doesn't just go naked.
Or it's like made from his hair.
Yeah,
I think it was like made from parts of his cells or something like that. That's the thing with My Hero Academia that always freaks me out because they mention it offhandedly. It's like, no, we sometimes scrape your cells to make hero equipment for you, or
we have my skin clothes.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, like I was saying earlier, where the guy was like kept getting like it's one step away from being, oh, we made leather clothing from this guy who can just keep duplicating over and over again on this abandoned island we've been on. It's like, fuck. It's like one step away from that, except it's like, I guess, more clinical and like sterilized because, I mean, they've clearly got some kind of fabricating technology.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
Or there's like people with quirks in some part of the school just like, oh, you want me to do what? Okay, well, my quirk works by if I drink somebody's blood and look at them, I can make clothes for them.
Yeah.
With their DNA signature.
God,
exactly.
That's a useful quirk. I'm like, yeah,
that's a utility. That's a quirk that you can like. Why isn't that person like part of their like have their own business, their own job?
Why are you trying to be a hero?
Yeah,
be a tailor. But yeah,
you're gonna love the way you look after you give me my blood. Or give me your blood.
It's like one. Yeah, and again, it's one step away from from not Togepi, the vampire girl. I can never remember her.
Oh,
Tagato or
Toga.
Yeah, I was close. Toga, where like she needs to drink some of your blood, and then she can like assume your form, including your clothes and such.
Yeah,
but then it like and then it sloughs off of her like skin, or like a snake skin. Almost. Yeah, or like Clayface. Yeah,
there is, because I don't think your body's like, oh boy, blood, that thing I like. Because I think it doesn't take a lot of blood. If you as a human drink a lot of blood, like your body's like, I hate this, please vomit this out. It doesn't take a lot. So having that quirk is like, how much do you need? It can't taste good. Blood is not delicious.
Yeah, unless their quirk is vampirism.
Part of the quirk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, like that was like,
isn't that Vlad, right? The other teacher.
There is a blood teacher.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, there's a vampire guy.
The other school, or not the other school, the other class, and his quirk is vampirism. He's Vlad. Ugh. But he's a nice guy.
Yeah. What's Vladimir Salvatore? No, that can't be him.
Yeah, Vlad King, the blood hero, pro hero and teacher at UA school. He teaches class 1B. But his quirk is blood control, and he can freely manipulate his own blood after it has left his body. He can also harden the ejected blood, allowing him to trap his opponent.
That's so much worse.
So it's like Magneto using iron in your blood.
Exactly.
Oh,
he can make blood prisons out of his own blood.
But that can't work.
Except it works. It works.
Need the blood.
Or it's like again, like one of the villains from Hero Rising. Her hair just becomes like blades, like hardened blades of steel. It's like I think that's even a Marvel character, isn't it? Like from the Inhumans.
Medusa has she has hair control.
Yeah.
Oh, Tress effects.
Yeah.
Then that's not blood anymore. I feel like that's something else. If you have like a bunch, I'm looking at this clip. If he can cover an entire person in hardened blood, I'm like, well, that's not that's not the blood you need. You got a little blood sac there.
Yeah. How are you not like? I think there's like what 3 or 4 pints, or like 3 or 4.
I believe it's 8 pints of blood.
8 pints of blood in a human body. And like, there's no way that's enough.
Well,
oddly enough,
like a large man.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's that large.
Well, actually, fun fact. A child. I think I don't know why this came up in one of our previous actual or Al Dente episodes. Where one of my hosts looked up a bunch of blood facts because of a creepypasta we were doing, and he was like, "Oh, fun fact, by the way, I think it looks like the average child of like 8 has the same amount of blood in them that an adult human has. Like,
Oh,
I was like, what?
how?
I don't
Where
know.
are they keeping it?
Yeah. Where is it?
I'm about to shake down an 8-year-old. Where's your blood?
Come on, give us that blood.
Yeah, like imagine like now just imagining little Midoriya as and then like looking over at like the Vlad is like, huh? So Vlad, like at that age, damn, like he's just like a monster.
Well, those aren't water tears coming from Midoriya whenever he cries. It's blood. He's got so much of it.
Oh God. Also,
Remember when he cried so hard that it drove him into the ground like a drill?
Yep. He was so upset. The force of his tears.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We haven't talked about one of the first heroes that you see. Isn't there a fire hose hero?
Yeah. No, there's two. There's a couple who got killed. In the because it's their son is part of the nephew or something of one of the cat heroes.
Oh, right.
And they had water power, like water generation powers. Because I think that's actually part of like because there's three types of quirks. There's emitter, there's transformation, and then there's mutant. And emitter or activation type quirks are the ability to allow the user to generate and possibly control certain things. So they just can generate things and create it. Like, and apparently it goes into like physical things as well, not just energy based things.
Right. Oh, I remember those two, but I was thinking of Backdraft.
You're right. Yeah.
He's assigned to a hospital raid team led by Endeavor, but he looks just like equipment.
Yeah, he's just a guy in like
he's
all,
like a water
in a fireman's outfit,
and
he's got hoses.
Outfit, he's got hoses for hands.
Well, I mean, again, from two heroes, the Joker-esque character that was like riding on the giant beast that was running through the city in All Might's like past. He generates and fires off rockets from his hands.
Oh right. I don't know why I'm even surprised anymore.
Yeah. It's like and again, we do have like things like the one classmate who can like generate like any item she wants from the lipids in her system or the ligaments in her system.
Right.
Momo.
Yeah, Momo. As long as she has like the analytical knowledge of the item.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the molecular knowledge of it. Like she has to know like all the molecular details and like the full like schematics of it in order to actually generate it. But it's like, God damn, that is like some like miracle working bullshit. Like that's like she's a fabricator. Like she's just yeah.
She's the 3D printer.
Yeah.
I would just like, I don't know, here's blocks of carbon. I'm tired. I don't want to study.
Exactly.
I guess here's pure gold, I guess.
Yeah, right?
Enjoy.
Yeah. Oh God, there goes the economy too. Like that kind of situation.
But like we talked about earlier, it seems like all it takes, especially My Hero Academia, is to be put on the wrong path. It's just kind of, if you have the right quirk in the wrong place, if the wrong person knows you have the quirk, they're gonna exploit the hell out of you. Like if Momo was in a different scenario, she could have been in a similar situation as Eri, pumping out gold bricks or fake money because somebody told her to, or somebody forced her to. Or
it's like when they tried to recruit
underbelly
Bakugo.
of society. Yeah, it's right there.
Like if Bakugo hadn't had as much of a hothead and like kind of a villainy type like the bloodthirsty streak he has, had he not had like the upbringing he had of like being like idolizing All Might and having what seems like a loving family, if not a little rough, from his mother, from the looks of it, from those brief meetings we've seen, like he might have turned to the dark side, but as a result of that, he was able to like basically not like because of his circumstances, he didn't go villain. He just went really, really edgy like hero.
All that just to pick on a nerd, I'd say.
Yeah, and pick on. That's the one thing is like, yeah, pick on somebody who doesn't have any powers for the simple reason as he doesn't have any powers.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's bullying.
Yeah, yeah. He's just
Bullying never changes.
Yeah, yeah. Even in the 2100s.
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't imagine being any kind of educator in this world. They
dear
kind of
God.
showed in the show with that very unruly kindergarten class.
Yeah.
That poor woman.
Well, I mean that's why they have like people. I mean, Eraserhead's got it easy. You just like they're being shitheads. Just erase their power for a little bit.
Yeah. Wrap him up in a scarf.
Maybe that's what Vlad does for his class. He just covers them in his blood. They're being too unruly.
God, just the carry method.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's. I mean, yeah, there's definitely was a dark age of powers where everyone like learned to be cool again.
Yeah. I honestly like that would be like an interesting like place to explore, but it would also be like this is no longer the plucky My Hero Academia. This is like a lot darker and serious.
I do wonder, like, I know being a hero is like again essentially like being an influencer in this world to a degree,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or a pro athlete. So of course everyone's going to go for that, but it's like, I mean, it's essentially money.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
'cause
what can my this thing that I'm born with? How can I exploit it to make me the money?
Just like Ochako. Why are you here? Why do you want to go to UA? I want to make money for my family.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or
My way out.
I don't want to work construction.
Yeah. Or like my dad's getting older and he like it's like not able to keep up with the construction thing. So like I want to be able to like pay for like help them, like help him and mom. Or I do like how like the UA high school is not just Hero Academy. Like there are like utilitarian like side like kind of like support classes that like and like I feel like there would be like classes for like utilitarian like quirks and stuff as well.
Yeah.
We're just getting the highlights because like that's what the series is focusing on.
Mm-hmm. Like
Is
I
this
wonder
just
what
a trade school.
I think it's a
what
trade
we're
school.
learning.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade school.
Well, that's the one thing that we got right in 2100 is we diversified schooling, so now that there are more options for everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah, not everyone's going to graphic design for a couple of years, and then that bails out, and you're left with about 200 plus graphic designers without jobs because they've switched over to India. Sorry, what was I talking about? I don't know. I blacked out there for a second. Yeah. Wow, it keeps going to like economic horror.
I mean, that's kind of it's all there. It's all just there, ready to erupt or ready to go back to the more uncivilized world that My Hero alludes to.
That a couple of villains want to go back to for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, like I think to a degree, Shigaraki, the Yakuza group, and even in the new movie, like they want the powerful to basically rule over the weak. Like so, the ones with like the best quirks to rule over the ones without quirks, or with the least amount of, or like the least powerful quirks. It's like, yeah, I guess that's like how they like solidify like a lot of like the villain plots. And then even Stain, like his whole thing is like this whole society is a falsehood as a result of like it's they're not actually doing justice. They're just doing it for the likes and views.
Yeah.
Like he just went way too far with it.
Or a paycheck.
Yeah.
Man. That was such a good like arc.
Yeah. Also like I was really kind of like nervous because in watching that part where Ito's brother was hurt and Ito was kind of like emotionally suffering there, and Midoriya like wanted to say something to him about it, but like he didn't, and then we get like this like Midoriya like narrating. It's like I really wish that I had talked to Ida about this thing. It's like, oh my god, is Ida gonna like die here? Like
they
it
let
felt
that
like it was
go too. Yeah,
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
we don't know.
It's It's like, and then like we get the next. Oh, okay. It's just like they broke the rules and like they had to deal with the serial killer.
Mhm.
But it was like it almost like felt like a kind of one of those like those episodes in shows when dealing with suicide of like grievances and stuff. And I was like, whoa, why did my plucky superhero anime get kind of this real?
Yeah.
And that's like most like a handful of Midoriya's like I think that's another thing about the series is like Midoriya's like narrations are always so grave, at least in the English dub. Even when like they're talking about like things that aren't going to be like dark or real.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, then fall happened. Well, we all know what happens in the fall. And it's like, wait, what's going to happen,
What does
Midoriya?
happen in the fall?
Oh, the fall festival. It's like,
We were-
damn it, Midoriya.
God damn it, Midoriya.
We were unprepared for what was going to come next. A pop quiz, and none of us had studied.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
Damn it!
Oh god. Or like yeah, that running gag with their teacher, Eraserhead. Just like this is the worst thing. This is the most trying thing you'll ever experience. By the way, like you're all going to fail and be kicked out of UA for this.
Can't wait to
No, I
kick
was
you all out of school.
Just joking.
No, I've adopted all of you. Let's bring it in.
You're all my sons and daughters. Come on over here.
Oh god. Yeah. It's just.
No, I think that's just it's. Overall, I think the horror of superheroes is just when you think about it within a real world context, because you're not automatically like, oh, cool, I can stop crime. I'm like, what? Well, how do you find crime?
Yeah.
First of all, that seems very difficult.
That's also illegal in most times, like because you have to get like at best you're getting a police scanner, or like
Yeah.
you're on some weird dark web forum.
Yeah, I was
Like,
like, you're monitoring the wrong thing.
Shit, yeah, you're getting dark. You're going to some dark territory. Like you're having to fall into the criminal element.
Yeah, I've been high up on a skyscraper. I can't see any crime from there.
Yeah.
Whenever I walk the streets, everybody seems to be on their best behavior.
Yeah. So yeah, of course. So it's like how it's the exploitation of said powers, or the unbridled hedonism caused by such.
Yeah, it's just like glorifying like this kind of like model that doesn't really fit realistically. And they do kind of address it as well. Like in some, there's some moments where they address that, where it's like, look, like not all heroes fight crime, or like do they? It's like sometimes there's also like the rescue agencies to like for like search and rescue and like support like cities like when a disaster happens, like disaster relief stuff, like or just helping out a local community.
Yeah,
like it's interesting that they have moments of that, and then the most of the series is just like world ending, like neighborhoods being wiped out in a single battle because All Might is fighting one for all. It's like Christ. Do we have anything more to say about My Hero Academia?
I mean, other than it's absolutely awesome, and everybody should watch it because it's good, and like I've read ahead. I got ahead on my reading, and all I'm going to say is season 5 could kick some fucking ass. Really is gonna kick ass. It's gonna be good.
God. Well, I will say, like, since the last time we talked, and like I had you guys on the show, and now I've had 3 separate hours long conversations with people about My Hero Academia and the horror of it. This is number 4 conversation because I couldn't wait to get on recording to talk about it. And yeah, everyone who's seen the show and I've talked about it, like, yeah, we all like, it's like the same thing. It's like, it's a great show. And yeah, there's some crazy underlyings of like horror if you just nudge it in the right direction. Or just like peel back the page, as it were.
And I love that they do that in the show, just ever so slightly. Every now and then, they'll just throw in like a little too much detail about that backstory, and then they'll just pull back, and then you're back in the show. And you're like, huh? Wait. Oh, but Midoriya's doing something cute.
Aw. Or it's like, yeah, remember that girl that was being used to her arms were being like disintegrated and reorganized again to like create that anti-quirk serum, and like how she's horribly traumatized by the whole event, and like yeah, like her she was kidnapped by the Yakuza and like forced to do this, and like also emotionally and physically abused by them and such. Yeah, she's at the we're gonna make her feel better by putting on a stage show at the fall festival.
The plot of those episodes are: can we get this girl a candy apple?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They went from rescue this
poorly
this victim of human trafficking to
yeah. Oh god, and then like yeah, like those really hit home because like I've got a niece, and like I was really like heartstringing with that poor little girl. And also like just the amount of emotional abuse that bastard was doing to her. Just like, you're responsible for everything, for all the deaths I've been causing. It's like, no. I'm so glad he got his. I'm so glad he got his comeuppance though at the end.
Oh yeah.
That's very good. And that it was that's so good.
Yeah. And then like I suppose the Midoriya tag team, the Midoriya what is her name? It's like
Eri,
yeah, sorry, yeah. Midori Eri tag team.
So bad. It's so crazy.
Oh, it's so good. And then like his comeuppance on the highway when he's being like transported away back to, like to the prison. Oh yeah, it's just like, yeah, you deserve that. I don't care if you really you had some kind of like twisted good intentions there or whatever. You deserved that. I don't want to spoil it. That's how reverent it was for me. It was like, you got, so anybody else listening to this and hasn't watched My Hero Academia up to like the end of season 4, please, but for the love of God, watch it.
Yeah, we warned you in the beginning.
Yeah, we're warning you again. Yeah.
So I think maybe we could closing thoughts on this whole conversation, because we've talked about The Boys, My Hero Academia, and a few others, and it's just like, I think when hero shows now or hero movies going forward will hit harder if they do this same like peeling back the layer of like, oh, it's not all fun and games when they either take off the suit and go into the real world, or if they're not allowed to take off the suit when they're in the real world. Like,
yeah,
it's dark.
Also, we didn't bring up one that I'm surprised we didn't. Brightburn, the James Gunn reverse Superman role.
Oh right,
where
I didn't see that, but I saw the trailer.
It's so good, and they open it. The ending, there's an end credit scene that basically opens it up to some spin-off movies with other like horrifying hero characters.
Oh,
or
very
horrifying
cool.
There's a conspiracy theorist on a YouTube. Like, again, sorry if I'm spoiling it.
Oh, no, that's all good.
Okay, but there's in the mid-credit scene, there's like a conspiracy theorist, like what's his name, Infowars kind of guy, on YouTube, and he's talking about like all these disasters that the Brightburn kid is causing, and like around I told you, it's just like the last time we were on the air. There's this the fish man off the coast of Africa, or the Salem witch ghost who strangles her victims on county roads. And it was like, so you made Aquaman, you've made a creepy Aquaman character and a like Batman Punisher like ghost monster.
Yeah, I think they there's a creepy Wonder Woman in there.
Oh yeah, no, that might have been actually what it was. Yeah,
like a Raven.
Yeah,
from Teen
and then you're just dealing with the Brightburn kid, who's just Superman's powers, but he's just going around, wrecking the earth.
Yeah, zero morality.
Yeah,
because
he's not human, or he was from another. He. Yeah, I mean, it goes into in the movie. It explains like why he suddenly starts acting like this. Honestly, Vince, you should check it out. It's really good. It's a good superhero horror movie.
All right. I think also Elizabeth Banks is in that movie.
She is.
Big fan of her. So okay, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, she's putting in work.
I'm a bank.
She's running the kid who plays Badger in Breaking Bad. And I'm sorry, the voice of Wedge in Final Fantasy VII Remake is it.
There we go.
Yeah,
now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, now you understand.
I sit here just like nodding.
So yeah, I mean, I will. As far as the media, one of my favorite White Wolf tabletop games was called Aberrant. It's at the turn of they put it out like the turn of the century, and it's essentially kind of The Boys, kind of My Hero Academia, where it's up, everyone gets suddenly gets superpowers, and within a matter of like 10 years, the world drastically changes. And they give you a lot of what White Wolf does is they give you a lot of elements. Yeah, there's a lot of elements and threads to pull at that you can play with. Like there's like of course there's the giant organization that's trying to do good, but like you could go be a mercenary. You can also be a part of this underground group that's trying to solve the dark mystery behind the giant organization. You could be a part of a group that are like, no, we're different from humans, so F everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's I think they call it the XWF. There's a wrestling federation for suits
cool.
that you could be a part of.
That does honestly seem like the first industry that's going to pop up in a superhero world.
Yeah.
Like if pop culture has taught me anything, like tournaments are key. People love tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
in anime and abroad.
Yeah. The there was one section because it's how you in that universe, how you get your powers is there's a little gland that's in your brain that needs to develop, but it's only certain circumstances, and the circumstances are usually some sort of danger or stress trigger. So that's like, again, because it was made in the late 90s, it's showing you all these forum posts about people trying to activate their superpower.
Oh no.
Yeah.
God,
that sounds all too familiar.
It's like, hey, if you want flame powers, you know
that
flame
is
power tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah, DIY like brain surgery or brain manipulation. That's kind of almost like, that's interesting because it's going into like creepypasta, ritual pasta stuff, like those forum things that you like, those creepypastas that like, oh, here's how you if you want to get a wish that'll actually miraculously come true, you have to go out to like a back roads and just think on the thing that you're looking for, and a mysterious gravel road will appear on the side of the road for you to turn off to, and you'll note it by the creepy bleeding tree that's on the corner. And then you have to go 11 miles through hell, literally, like different versions of like torture and like hell and tests of like endurance, and then go a kilometer, apparently, because it ends off the road ends in Canada somewhere. And you will park 11 once you get to that 12th kilometer. You'll get to the end, and you will have whatever you dreamed of happen miraculously.
Timmy Hortons coffee.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like those kind of, and those are like always like those ritual pastas are always done like in forum posts or like in like kind of explanation kind of things that people post on like a wiki page and stuff. And it also kind of reminds me of like From Beyond, by like the both the Lovecraft story and also the one the
Stuart Gordon movie.
Yeah, the Jeffrey Combs. He was it Jeffrey Combs that was in that?
Jeffrey Combs was in that. Yeah.
And where like the pineal gland in your brain, when it gets synchronized or when a frequency hits it, it develops that pineal gland that allows you to see beyond dimensions or something. It kind of reminds me of that kind of pseudoscience.
The fact to see a TikTok tutorial on that one. Somebody dancing and pointing.
Yeah. I take a teaspoon of radium every day until my superpowers develop.
Yeah, and again, that's also going into like some conspiracy theorists who like, oh, I drink colloidal silver every day to make sure that I don't get irradiated when the bombs go. It's
Oh,
like,
boy.
Yeah.
no,
Well,
buddy.
Well, I mean, there's. I know we're going long, but like
It's fine.
the desperation, especially with Deku in the very beginning of My Hero, the desperation of not having a quirk.
Yeah.
And wishing desperately, trying everything you can. They're the same way that the health industry is a never-ending loop of promises.
Mhm.
Getting your quirk industry, there has to be a getting your quirk industry that people are falling for.
Oh god,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's definitely like both on the regular web, like all those scams, and then on the dark web, it's like just, hey, yeah, we can chop up. We got it's like an organ donate, like kind of like organ transplant kind of like situation going on. It's like, we got this organ from a guy with a cool quirk. You want to put it in your body, see if it gives you a quirk?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, ooh.
I produce
mean-
drugs for my body. They're
the
technically not illegal.
So really, the underlying horror of My Hero Academia is economic and body horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our society with those two elements at the forefront.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh god, we didn't even get into like military or
Yeah.
global policing via powers.
Oh,
Which is
A
a
regular
thing in
policing,
comics on a regular in comics, and also in this series, kind of. Because it's like there's a board, there's like a government. Sorry, what?
oh, sorry. I was referencing the in the first movie in Two Heroes, how they're like, oh no, this floating like moving city that we have that all heroes come to get gear, training that regular society can't go to.
Yeah, and none of these scientists or their families can ever leave,
Yeah.
ever.
Mhm.
It's a ton. One, it's just so these characters can't seep into the regular series. Two,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, we're an autonomous island. We're our own nation of every good scientist.
Yeah,
And
all the good
all the good
scientists. Yeah. Clearly not one bad. There's not one bad. Well, okay, there's two, maybe two off white guys or off good guys there that are like, they're doing some shady business, but I mean, it's all for the betterment of super society, right?
I mean,
Seriously.
I meant quality. How is MIT going to keep a staff with Island just there where the big bucks are made?
God.
You can only spend on that island.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like Disney dollars, but for scientists.
Oh no. Also, I like how like it kind of goes into the thing that that Marvel and DC have done a couple of times, where the government has your identity, your super. Why do you have aliases, like other than just to have a brand? Because like everyone is registered, all the heroes are registered. Because like when they're going through Island, like it's All Might, or like a code name All Might, real name, and then you get his full name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then like Midoriya, and then like you get Deku. It's like, what? It's like it's a little bit of a Big Brother there with and again, Marvel did that with the Civil War situation, where like regulated superheroes versus non-regulated.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's a lot of government regulation in My Heroes. I think so much so there is a spin-off manga which I have not read called Vigilante.
yeah, there is.
Which explores that idea of like, what if you just want to like, I don't know, be a Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Just a friendly neighborhood, man spider.
Yeah, I don't want to go to school for heroin. I'm self-taught.
Yeah. Wasn't like the villain, or I do in quotes villain from the festival arc? Wasn't he like originally like he tried to be a hero and then he decided to be a villain because like he couldn't because he was trying to be it illegally or something?
There was he couldn't get his license.
Yeah, so he's like a Twitch streaming villain, like he's like an anti-hero kind of character.
It's someone saying like, I didn't get my driver's license, but fuck all y'all.
Yeah,
I mean, not only am I going to drive, I'm going to drive with the intent to hurt.
Yeah.
exactly. It's like I'm tired of these regulations and bullshit. I just want to drive.
Driving is a right, not a privilege.
Oh,
No. Oh God.
Quirkers' rights. Oh
God. Too real in this year.
Yeah. Superpowers are no, thank you. If someone's handing them out, I'll take it.
Yeah. Sure. If anybody listening is like looking for people to give powers to, I'll eat somebody's hair. Come on.
If you know any sites I can go to via a Tor browser to get some powers, please let me know.
I'll maybe scan some of the various creepypasta wikis and see if I can find some ritual pastas. One of them's got to work out, right? Or summon a demon.
That's your powers, summoning demons.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go.
It's like Angel Summoner, except demons.
Still technically angels.
Demonic hordes come forth. And there's like a slim chance I might get attacked as well. They're promiscuous little scamps. Oh God. Yeah, I think we've been talking a lot about the series and how you can just horrify it. Do we have anything else we want to bring up before we bring this to a close?
No, I think we hit a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess in that case, obviously, like as we've spent the last hour and a half to almost 2 hours talking about superhero horror and how My Hero Academia is just right fodder for it. If there's anybody out there that wants to send us some creepypastas about superheroes or superpowers and stuff, by all means, leave it or send it to us by aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Or if there's other animes that fit kind of a creepypasta-esque kind of trait or nature, please, by all means, send that as well. And maybe I'll wrangle up the boys at Kame House Party again for another Anime Rigamortis.
We'd love to be
Absolutely.
back.
And maybe one day in the year 2025 or 2020 or 2030, I'll get finished Naruto, and we'll talk about that.
Yes. I think Aaron might pass, but I'll join.
That'll be a Vince only episode.
You sure you don't want to be just kind of out of the loop as I think Vince was when we started talking about RPGs?
Yeah.
As for reference, I watched more Boruto than I have Naruto.
Oh my God.
through bits, for gag purposes.
Nice. That would be the end of the episode. So where can people find you guys? Obviously, outside of Kame House Party.
Take this young man.
Yeah, I mean, mostly just follow Kame House Party at Kame House Party on all the social medias. KameHousePartyPod@gmail.com. If you want to send us in some anything, tell us how great we are. Tell us about Dragon Ball. Anything you want, send it in. And then we stream twitch.tv/Kame House Party every Thursday night. We have a lot of fun. And when did you say this one was going to come out?
It'll probably be the first week of November.
Oh, Aaron, do we want to plug our?
So by the time this comes out, we will be taking part in a Child's Play charity stream. We will be
Extra Life.
Is it Extra Life? Shit, yeah.
Yeah. Extra Life.
Okay, sorry. So by the time this comes out, if you're listening to this on the day it's released, very soon we will be participating in an Extra Life charity stream. We're going to do a 12-hour marathon over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Kame House Party. If you want more details, because we're still working them out as of this recording, You just again follow us on any social media at Kame House Party. We'll give you all the details there. But come hang out during that stream and especially donate.
Yes.
I believe it was somewhere in Delaware, wasn't it?
No, we couldn't find that specific hospital, so we're just donating to the regular charity that is helps fund children's hospitals. So all the money that we accrue during the stream will go to a children's hospital fund.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, do that. That's the big thing. Do that one.
Yeah, get on that, guys. Okay. Aaron, did you plug yourself as well, or?
Oh yeah, I guess I do too. I'm like, oh, that's it, right? I do with Noah. I do a podcast with Noah Cardin called Thinking Too Hard About Anime, where we go episode by episode, sort of dissecting various anime series. It's our first season, and we're doing Cowboy Bebop, which is a series near and dear to mine and Noah's hearts. So if you want a little more dissection and a little more history on those shows, come check us out wherever fine podcasts are given away for free.
Awesome. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at ReviewCultist. And you can comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Podbean, Facebook, YouTube, or Tumblr. If you'd like to help support the show financially, go to Patreon, look up Al Dente Rigamortis, and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $2 and $5 tier with special episodes, early access, extra content. To our patrons that are already helping support the show, thank you guys immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners, thank you guys immensely, because without your listenership, it would be like screaming into the void. So every time you comment or send us emails or like talk to us on Twitter and stuff, that is awesome. So until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I've been Aaron.
And I've been Vince.
And this has been Anime Rigamortis. Sleep well. You guys don't want to say goodbye or anything?
You said the thing.
You said sleep well. I didn't want to.
I don't want to. They're sleeping well. I don't want to disturb them.
Shh.
All right.
Just fell asleep. Shh.